Shalom and welcome again to JewishTV.media. Following on our Parshat, Chayeh Sara. It is by you Chayeh Sara. 100 shana ו-20 shana ו-7 shanim. Shnei Chayeh Sara. It's interesting that the gematria of the word Vayihyu, the word Vav, Yud, He, Yud and Vav, is 37. So what's this? What do we learn? Vayihyu Chayeh Sara, the 37 years, the last 37 years of Sara Imenu, she really lived. Because as I mentioned in our last program, Sara was 90 when she had Yitzchak, and she died was 127. So the last 37 years of her life with Yitzchak were the happiest one. Vayihyu Chayeh Sara. And it's interesting, it says, Shnei Chayeh Sara. Shnei Chayeh Sara. Why again? So Rashi says, Shnei Chayeh Sara, that they were Kulam Shavim Letovah, they were all good. How can we say that all 127 years, Sarah, were all good? She had some difficult times, she didn't have any children, she was problems with Pharaoh and Abimelech. And there must have been times where there was difficult times. How come Rashi says, all her life, Lam Shavim L'Tova. And here we see the midah of Sara Imenu. That everything in life, she always said, Gam Zu L'Tova. So whatever, anything that happened, any hardships or challenges in life, she always said, Gam Zu L'Tova. And if that was her nature, so there was nothing bad in her life, all her days were good. And that's why it says, Kulam Shavim L'Tova. And we see that it says, Vayavo Avram lispor leSara v'lifkota. And there's a little calf, a small, that he only mourned for her a little while. He didn't mourn too much. Why didn't Avram Avinu mourn for his wife the whole of Shiva? It says only he mourned a little. He had only a bit of the Shiva. To understand this, we know there's the Midrash says that one of the explanations in the Akedah that took place was on Yom Kippur. And when she found out that Yitzchak was going to be sacrificed on Yom Kippur, she died on Yom Kippur. And it took 3 days to go from Har Moriah back to Hebron, where he lived. Because we know, it says, Bayom HaShlishi, Vayavo Avraham, he came to Har Moriah. So if it took him 3 days, it also took him 3 days to come back. So if you come 3 days after Yom Kippur, you have Yud Aleph, Yud Bet, Yud Gimel of Tishrei. When he arrived, he saw she died. Then on the Yud Dalet, he went and bought the cave of Machpelah from Benechet, and he buried her on the afternoon, on the Erev Yud Dalet. Yud Dalet, Tishrei, Erev is Erev Sukkot. So, Avraham Avinu could only mourn for his wife because that night was Sukkot. And on Yom Tov, the Shiva is finishes. So here we see that night, then the Shiva for Sarah was finished, and Avraham Avinu then only mourned for a short while, because that night was Yom Tov. And what Yom Tov it was? It was the Yom Tov of Sukkot. And how do we know it was Sukkot? Because it says, Avraham Zaken Ba Bayamim, Hashem Berach et Avraham Bakol. Straight after, it says after she died, Abraham was old, And Hashem berach et Avraham bakol. In the word bakol, there are 3 letters, bet, kaf, lamed. It could mean 2 things. The gematria of bakol, bet is 2, kaf is 20, and lamed is 30, is 52. 52 is the same gematria as ben. Ben is also bet, and nun is 52. So Hashem blessed Avraham Avinu with a ben, with Yitzchak. But also, the Vilna Gaon says interesting that from the word bakol, we know it was Sukkot. How? The Vilna Gaon says there are 3 psukim which describe one after another the festival of Sukkot. In Parshat Emor, it says bet basukot teshvu shivat yamim. The kaf kol ha'ezrach Yisrael yeshvu basukot. And the next pasuk, man yedu dorodechem ki basukot hoshafti bnei Israel. So in those 3 sentences which describe Sukkot, basukot teshvu kol Israel and man yedu dorodechem. So here we have a hint that that night was the festival of Sukkot. Then that's why Avraham Avinu then did not mourn so much for Sara Imenu. And we see at the end of the Parsha that Avraham Avinu, Ve'ele shenei Chayeh Avraham asher chai, 100 shana ו-70 shana, and it already says Ve'ele shenei Chayeh Avraham asher chai. So here we see, Chazal tell us that the Avraham Avinu, he lived 175 years. He was buried in Hebron, and the interesting that Hebron, the gematria, is 175 years, and he was buried in the Me'arat HaMachpelah in Hebron, and has the same gematria of Avraham Avinu. He was 175. And Yemei Shenei Chayeh Avraham Asher Chai. This is a lesson we learn that every day in our lives we should utilize it and not waste it, and use it to do performing mitzvot and going mechayel. Thank you very much for joining us.
JewishTV.media